CEO of the Year. That is the category that this amazing woman walked away with on the 8th of March at the Women of Stature South African Awards. Yael, what an evening it was. Congratulations. It was an absolute pleasure to see the response on the evening when you won this award, because I know that you were actually up against a very, very strong group of women. So tell us, who is the woman behind this title, behind the CEO of the company that you represent? Who are you?
It's like the Alice in Wonderland caterpillar where he takes a puff and he goes, "Who are you?" Okay, so I'm so happy I won this award. I honestly didn't think I would. And not because I'm using #humbled and all that. Honestly, with the caliber of women, it was an enormous feat. And I actually got the fright of my life when you announced it, but the most beautiful fright of my life. It was so joyful and the event was superb, honestly, world class. Congratulations. So my name is Yael Geffen, and I work for, well, I'm a shareholder and I'm the CEO of Lou Geffen Sotheby's International Realty. And we deal in the property market all over South Africa. We have the master license from Sotheby's International Realty. And I'm a third generational real estate family, really, which started with my granny, Aida Geffen, in the 50s, very powerful woman, and went on to Lou Geffen and Sandy Geffen, my parents, and now to me. So I am the CEO of this brand. It's a wonderful brand. And what I like to do is use my platform as well to inspire other females to step into leadership positions. There's not enough in real estate. There's not enough in the world. And that women need a bigger seat at the table. They need to be at that table where decisions are made. And I'm also a very staunch mental health advocate. So I like to use my influence in leadership and inspiring women to also be an advocate for mental health, because that is really the plague or the new epidemic that is bringing people down in the world. So that's me. Oh, and I'm a single mom and I have a dog and I love walking and I'm obsessed with sloths, and that's about it.
And you have a beautiful son.
Yes, he was my +1 at the awards event. I cannot tell you how wonderful it was to have your child be so proud of you, your little one dress in a suit, which he looked very dapper, and everyone loved him. He was fabulous. So I was so proud to have him with me and to achieve. And I think that's something that as women, we don't really involve our family enough with and our kids. And it was a special moment for both of us, really.
And he's how old?
He's turning 10, going on 21.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted everybody to know. He's 10 years old and he arrived on the red carpet with Yael, and it was so wonderful to see him. And I still remember saying to him, "Oh, you look so handsome tonight, young man." And he had this lovely smile. He was absolutely beautiful. And it so happens that he's on the event video. I happened to see the event video, and they actually captured him sitting there with a big smile on his face. So Yael, look, as I said to you, it's been quite a journey, you know, from the time that you were nominated, and I know that we've interacted a lot. We've had quite a number of engagements. And I know some of the ladies didn't anticipate that it was going to be such a long, drawn-out nominee process. But I think ultimately what I wanted to hear from you now is, what have you actually learned about yourself during this process leading up to, and then obviously thereafter?
You know, it's interesting because whilst I was going through this nominee journey and the finalist journey, it was a lot of work. And it was, you know, we had to attend certain things and write certain things. But at the end, it made sense. At the end, I looked back and I understood, okay, this is what it's about. And to see, I don't know how many people that were at the event, Charlotte, but I think there were well over 1,000 or close to 1,000, or I don't know if my figures are incorrect, but there were so many incredible women and the people that love them at this event. And to just sit there and feel this powerful feminine energy was unbelievable. It's like the room had a higher vibration than any other room with all this goddess feminine wisdom energy. So it was a journey, but looking back, I got it. I thought, aha, that's why we had to do this. That's why we had to attend this. And what was quite nice about that is it's different from other award shows that I've done. So normally you enter, you have the judging process, you send your credentials, and then it's announced. And I feel like we all got to know each other and create a sisterhood, and that was lovely. And going forward, we know each other better, we support each other. It's women supporting women. We're going to collaborate more. Some of us are going to land up in Dubai, which is phenomenal. It's really international. So I learned about myself that, when I did the preparation for the interview, I don't think often we forget about our past accolades. Often we forget the change that we've made. In life, you almost measure yourself by your most recent success or failure. But when I put all this collateral together, I was very proud of myself. And even, if some people thought the interview didn't go well or not, I particularly didn't think it went that well. I was having a bit of a day at that point. But when I look at what I did submit and the things that I've done, I was really proud of myself. So that's what I've learned in the journey is, A, we are so hard on ourselves as women. Honestly, we can be our worst inner critics. But B, if you look at the journey and the influence you've had, and women aren't as confident in the workspace as men. It's a known fact. We only put our hands up when we're 70% sure of something, whereas men put their hands up when they're 30% sure. So I feel like we can almost take a confidence boost out of the men surrounding us. The sisterhood that you've created through this, the event itself, it all makes sense. And the event was magnificent. And I felt very proud to be part of this community.
Well, thank you for that wonderful feedback. And I think it's so important for me also to hear how this has, as you say, forced you to actually take a good look at yourself. Because, we tend to forget, as you say, your past achievements. It may not be something that was highlighted through an award or a nomination, but the fact that you have actually done what you've done over the years, and it's all culminated into this. And when you did your presentation at the adjudication and you highlighted, I mean, you had a wonderful presentation that you had spent a lot of time on, and I know that because you said, I've got this PowerPoint presentation. But what it actually forced you to do is what it was to build a portfolio of evidence just for yourself, and to look back and say, good grief, I can't believe where I've come from and where I am today. And I think that is priceless. And I think that's something now you've got. And at any given time, if anybody asks you, you've got it already done and it's ready. So having won this award, obviously, there's merit in it. We as a brand, we obviously pride ourselves. It's a 10-year history behind the brand. How has this impacted you and your business since winning this award? What are I would say, the key factors that you see has happened since winning the award?
Well, I think, if you look at the professional photographs and now the marketing video, which I can't wait to see, and the amount of mileage in the press and the amount of mileage that I've received from peers, both in my industry and colleagues and outside, it's almost like the industry went mad and was so excited that a woman of a real estate brand won the CEO category. There was so I have a network of 500 agents. So, I mean, the love and the pouring out of pride was so wonderful. And also people in very high profile positions that I wasn't, aware of, that were alumni of receiving these awards in the past. So it's been wonderful to connect with these people, some of them that I already knew. And I didn't even know that they were part of this. So that was wonderful. And it adds gravitas. It adds gravitas. And I think as women, we don't enter enough award shows and put ourselves out there to actually come back and feel, wow, okay, I have more credibility now, and I have more attention on the good work that I'm doing. And like you say, I have now a presentation of who Yael is, and I can understand why I'm so tired. Because the last few years I've been busy, and you're able to take stock of what it is that you've done and how you've created and influenced, and not just in your business, but other women, and inspired other women.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's definitely pushed me into a bigger category and a more recognized category, and it's very exciting.
Yael, you are obviously someone that a lot of women are aspiring to be, being a CEO of a large company. As you say, you carry an international brand license. Would you recommend this to other women, and why?
Yes, I would. Because we don't put our hands up enough, and we don't get recognized as much as we should. I think we carry this shame and isolation from our ancestors of women that didn't feel comfortable being in the spotlight. But especially in real estate, it's such a male-dominated domain. I'm the only woman amongst the leaders in the top like 6 nationally, and the youngest. So that also, when I stepped into those shoes, you're also slightly insecure of yourself. The rest of the men have been around a lot longer, and something like this really pushes you to show other women that they can aspire to this. And in any industry, there was such a vast array of industries for this award and for all the other awards. And it was so wonderful to see so many women in so many different industries that are really inspiring others. So I would advise and promote that other women in real estate do attend this award, do participate in the building sector. I think you covered very much everything, the educational, science. I think, I was looking at all these women and I was just blown away, because you hear of them, but to see them on the night and to see what they've accomplished was really great. So yes, I do think that women should enter this award. I do.
Now, you stood on the stage that evening. You had been obviously called up. Your bio was read. You were amongst some extraordinary women in the category, as you yourself have already recognized. Any one of them could have been the winner, and it was a very, very strongly contended category. But you stood out for some or other reason. You stood out. The adjudication was very was very strictly monitored. You showed up on the day. You were prepared. But at that moment when your name was called, how did it make you feel, and what went through your mind?
I think it was so lovely how you called us all up on the stage, every finalist, and that doesn't happen in award shows. And everyone felt very special. So regardless if you won or not, you felt that sisterhood, you hugged each other. I wore this for some reason or other, and I'm wearing red today to connect to what I wore. I had this vision of me, I want to wear a red dress. Never worn a red dress before, and I want to wear a red dress to this event, and I don't know why I had that in mind. But when you called my name, I was actually in shock, because I was rooting actually for another woman at this table. And she told me she was rooting for me. And it was so lovely. There was none of this competition, or how do I say, some women get like, I don't want to swear now. I'm thinking about the word, but competition can also bring out the worst in some women and people in general. And there was just like a team support of whoever wins is the deserving person. And when you called out my name, I never ever get shocked, to be honest. I never ever kind of, the cat never gets my tongue. I'm never ever tongue-tied, to be honest. And I was actually shaking, because it meant so much. And to kiss, and all the women hugged me, and we hugged each other, and we celebrated, and we had the photographs just after, where my son came running up saying, "I did win," in front of everyone, which was so cute. And we even had a photograph together. It felt like we were all celebrating each other, and I was shocked. I was actually shocked. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I'm humbled in that. I was shocked, and I felt really good, and I was so excited, but I was kind of out of it for 10 minutes when I got back to the table. I was like, oh my goodness, did this just happen? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was so lovely. And because there was such a crowd of people where everyone congratulated you and stood up, and it was so phenomenal because you felt so special. I felt really special and acknowledged and recognized and seen.
Oh, lovely, Yael. It's so lovely, Yael, because I think that's ultimately what I'm striving towards, is for me to see that response on the evening, to see how the person responds, and utter shock and amazement, and like it's wonderful, because that's the essence of this award. It's really it's got a very much deeper meaning for me than an industry award. An industry award is obviously peers, but here it's the general public, the people around you. I mean, our adjudicators come from different industries, so they're not from your industry. They're looking at it from a very different viewpoint, and to bring balance, we always have three, by the way. You notice that there's always it brings balance. But again, I mean, ultimately, if that's what you experience, that's absolutely wonderful. Now you've won the award. It's sitting behind you very proudly. You've got your lady standing behind you, and clearly what we want you to do is to use this to your greatest benefit. So I wanted to just ask you that question. How do you plan on actually making this award in particular work for you? Have you got anything in mind, how you want to actually make this award the standout award, and make it plan and work for you?
Have you not seen the press? I've been very busy on LinkedIn. I've already gone crazy posting this award on all my social media channels because I'm so proud, and I love my little lady. She's so beautiful. I do. I look at her often. I actually put her on my desk in front of me because every time I sit down, I'm like, yay me. It's awesome to celebrate yourself. So in terms of mentorship, I think it's going to make a very big difference. And like you said, not just being recognized in my industry, which I have. I've won awards that have recognized me in my industry, which has been fabulous. But in every industry of being a CEO, this is so great, and it's so expansive. And I just feel like I have greater influence, but not for ego purposes, for doing good stuff. And I'm hoping that I'll be asked, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, to speak perhaps at next year's event, because seeing the speakers and the keynote speakers and being connected to them was wonderful. So using this as a platform to definitely engage in more speaking events where I can inspire more people, mentorship. I'm not sure how the Dubai one works, but I definitely want to enter that and go to Dubai. I've never ever been to Dubai, and I know a lot of the people that were part of the winners were like already arranging, okay, so we're all going to go to Dubai, and also to look at the overall winner, Professor Cornet. She's just outstanding, and to be associated with all these women is fantastic. So definitely mentorship, more speaking events, speaking at next year's awards, which I have on my track, and I'm going to put it out there, and definitely being connected to these fabulous, sensational women, and hopefully going to Dubai and meeting more international women. It's really important that this is an international organization, so it's not simply South Africa, and that really gives you even more gravitas to network, to go out there, meet amazing women from around the world. So I definitely am going to use it. I have used it already. A lot of people are noticing, and I'm just going to push it out there more and more.
Fantastic. Yeah, Elle, it's important that you're speaking about the global awards, because it is another milestone. So the South African Awards obviously is, it's very near and dear to me, but having launched the Global Awards last year just made me realize, that it's an extension of our family. It really is, because we've got a beautiful relationship with our global partners. And yes, I would love to see every finalist, every category winner in Dubai. And yes, we're going to celebrate all the way through until then and thereafter. So, Yael, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you very much for staying the course. I think that's important. You showed up, you stayed the course. You were nominated by someone that obviously, admires you and believes in you. And I think they did you a great honor by doing that. So I want to say thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. And we'll be in touch because, oh boy, there's still a lot in the pipeline. So watch this space.
That's so great. And thank you for doing such important work in raising women and their profiles around the world. Kudos, big kudos.
Thank you, and chat soon.